Hello, everybody. How are you? It's Alison Solar, your kitchen and bath design educator and mentor. I was a designer for 30 years, so I don't really do my design work now. Very few design projects. I'm focusing on teaching, teaching what I know. One day I'm going to not be here, and I would like people to know what I know because I know a lot. I think I'm live in Facebook. I'm not really sure. I don't know. It's getting so weird on how to do everything. Um, Create live event. I don't know. And how do I go back to my group? I just find it all really confusing. I don't know why it has to be so confusing, but it is. Whatever. I'm here. If not, I believe I am in my business group, and I'm in LinkedIn, and I should be in YouTube. So hopefully you're seeing me out there. But today I wanted to talk about measuring. Okay, so we're going to be talking about measuring. Now, when it comes to measuring and starting a project, people are always, what do I, I'm not talking about the method that you use to measure, because there's a lot of digital products that are out there, apps and laser beams and all kinds of measuring tools. So whether you use a measuring tool or you use a good old-fashioned tape measure, because I always have a tape measure everywhere around me, within hand's reach is a tape measure, in my car, in my kitchen, in my living room, in my dining room, in my office. I probably have another one in here too. Always measuring things, okay? So we have our measuring tools. So there's things that you need to measure in a kitchen and things that you need to measure in the bathroom so that you can begin your project, because you have to realize you aren't measuring the existing cabinetry or the existing tub. What you're measuring is the center line of where the water comes out of the wall. Where's the sink plumbing lines? Where's my gas plumbing line? Where's my electric for my stove, or what needs to be run? So in the bathroom, you need to know, is it a floor drain? Is it a tub? Is it a shower? And also the center lines of all of your water plumbing, existing plumbing lines, and doorway openings. So it's not the cabinetry. It's not, you're going to measure that existing tub. You're going to measure the center line of where the tub spout and the shower head are. So I have a form that I developed for measuring. So you can download that on AlisonSolar.com. The Kitchen and Bath Design Academy has free downloads. And one of them, or two of them actually, are the kitchen measure form and the bathroom measure form. So let me see if I can pull these up. I always get confused about where to measure, or what to put up rather here. So let's share this form. So let's do that. How about that? Yes, better. Our measure checklist. Oh my gosh, this is so small. So can I increase this size here? No. Okay. Maybe I can if I go into that open window, my measure form. I don't know. Okay, so let's just keep it like that, I believe. So we're going to be measuring, wish it was bigger so I can see it. All right. So what we're going to be measuring in a kitchen are all the walls and the openings, okay? And you're going to measure the window opening and the door opening with the molding and without the molding. Okay, so one is going to be with the molding and one is going to be without the molding. So that because sometimes you change the molding. You could have 2.5 inch, 2.25 inch, and be changing it to 3, or you're eliminating it, or whatever you're doing with the molding. But what's most important is the measure opening of the particular window, because there, no, here, here, the window from the inside measurement, because that window opening is made with a header, a 2x12, 2x8, 2 by something, and studs, 2 studs side by side. It's a double studs, and a header at the top. So that's a fixed construction. And in order to move that window, you'd be changing the exterior of the house. So it depends on the client's project. It depends on the project that's going on. Are they going to be changing that window size? If not, they're keeping it the same. So I need to know the width of the window. I need to know the height of the window. And I need to know how high is that window sill above the finished floor. Because if I want to put cabinetry, I've got to be able to clear the windowsill height. So I want to measure how high does the window come above the finished floor, and what is the width and what is the height of the window. And I also want to measure the left of the window and the right of the window, and then you add in your molding in addition to that. So what's good about that is that sometimes you're like, oh, did I measure it with the molding, without the molding? Because there's so many things to measure. It's good to do both. Measure it with the molding and without the molding. Goes for the doorway and the windows. And in all windows, you must measure above the finished floor, so you get the height on that window. Okay, so that's, you take your measure and you go from the floor and you go up to the bottom of the window. I always go with my metal tape measure, because I have found those, by the time I set up those digital things, and if I'm off by a 1/2 inch, it's a big deal in the measuring. So if it's a full gut construction, you might measure before and then you might measure again after. Maybe you've gained some inches and some height, and maybe raised up the ceiling. Whatever you're doing, you're always measuring your windows and your doors and your openings. The next thing you want to measure is the center lines. You're going to measure the sink. You're going to open up the underneath the sink. I don't care how dirty it is underneath there. And you're going to see where the main pipe comes out from the wall. Where does it come out from the wall? And I had a whole video on how to measure and what to measure, and I cannot find it. I hope I didn't delete it, because I was cleaning up 100 things on my thousands of things on my to make room for the Google, and I don't know if I deleted it, or maybe it's on a hard drive. I have so much stuff all over the place. But anyway, you measure the hot line and the cold line and the pipe coming out of the wall underneath the sink. Okay, so sometimes you open up the sink and the sink might look here, and you might think, oh, let me put the center of the sink is where that faucet is. Okay, you always have a reference wall. So you're measuring from a reference wall out to the center line. So always measuring from a wall to the center, double check from the left and double check from the right. And you want to make sure that you take that picture, because sometimes the sink, you think it's in here, and you open up the cabinet underneath it, and the pipe can be coming from the corner. The pipe can be coming from off center. Where does that main pipe come out of the wall? The reason is because that is the plumbing stack. There's a stack that goes, how do I do this? There's a stack that goes to the back where that outlet is, where that pipe, 2-inch pipe, 1.5-inch pipe, whatever that pipe is, that goes into your main vent, because there's air in there. There's like an air valve or air something, and it's a vent line, and because you need the air to be able to have your water to drain. Okay, so it has to do with gravity and fluxion and plumbing, but you measure that coming out of the wall, and then where's the hot and where's the cold. You want to do the same thing in a bathroom, measuring that sink center line and your hot and your cold, because sometimes if you have a floating vanity or you have a pedestal sink, you've got to rework the plumbing underneath that sink to clear the P trap that comes down from the drain, and it goes like that, and it comes up and it goes into the wall, right? It goes like that and it goes back into the wall, or that part where it goes back into the wall. That's the main measurement that you need. And that might need to be made higher so that your P trap covers the bottom of the cabinet. You want to make sure it captures it inside the cabinet. So you have to do all those mathematical calculations with your calculator, your lovely calculator. Mine is in bright colors so I can see it on my messy desk. It's always handy. And you do your calculations of minus, 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 plus, 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 and you figure out where that center line has to go, how high above the floor, and the hot and cold, how close do they need to be? Because if you have a pedestal sink or any of those gorgeous sinks that you could see underneath it, all that stuff has to be finished perfectly beautiful in plumbing pieces to match the plumbing fixtures in the bathroom. So if you went with gold fixtures everywhere and you have a vessel sink and it's just a console and it's beautiful, you see the legs and whatever underneath it, you're going to have that all finished in beautiful brass and the matching hot and cold shutoff to complete the look of that pedestal or vessel or hanging console sink, whatever, in the bathroom. So, and again, with the center line of the shower body and the plumbing fixtures, because that's going to determine where everything is, because the plumbing is the most expensive thing to be moved. So you want to try and keep it in the same location unless you're reconfiguring everything. And if you're reconfiguring everything in your bathroom and reconfiguring everything in your kitchen, you need to know how far you're moving things and where exactly are they going to go. And then what you need to do after you've done your measuring, the width, the height, the moldings, the doors, and you measuring the walls, people. We're measuring walls. In the kitchen, we're not measuring the cabinet. We're getting back to the wall, and you're going to measure corner to corner, okay? Corner to corner. Corner to corner to corner. I don't care about these existing cabinets. I care about where's my center line for my stove? Where's my center line for my sink? Where is my refrigerator outlet located? Once you've got, then the next thing you need to do is you measure the ceiling. In a kitchen and in a bathroom, more so in a kitchen, it's important to measure the ceiling in 3 places. Measure it in one corner of the room, and I usually hold the tape measure up against the wall and measure as close up to the wall as I can get. Now, it's okay to be a little bit off on the ceiling. If you're a half inch off, because we have crown molding or no molding, so you can have a little wiggle room up there. Usually it's an adjustable crown molding form design. So then you measure your ceiling in one corner, and then in the opposite corner, or measure 3 places, because you could be 1 inch off. The floor could be that off, and you don't really know until you start measuring it. So you measure one end, you never just one. Like, you don't say I have 96 inches, because you might have 97 and a half on one and 96 on another, or could be down to 87 to 89. You don't know until you measure. So you got to measure your ceiling in a couple of places. So then what you need to do is, now you go downstairs underneath your project. If there's a crawl space, You can't get underneath there really but you have to note that there's a crawl space. You have to note, is it a finished basement? Because you may need to rip out that ceiling to be able to move things around. Or is it an open ceiling so that you don't have to do anything and you can actually see where everything needs to go? Then in the bathroom, you need to know the joists, which way the joists are going, so that you can, if you were going to move a toilet, let's say, can I move the toilet? I've done that a lot of times where I hate the toilet where it is because I don't like to open the door and see the toilet. That's my design thing. Anybody who open the door and you see that toilet, I can't stand it. So I try and turn the toilet, move the toilet if possible. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. But anyway, so you need to measure, go downstairs, you find out what's kind of substrate. That's one of the questions that you ask. Is your house on a slab? Is it on a crawl space? Is it in an apartment building? Do I have a full finished basement, an unfinished basement? What's going on underneath it? That room that you're renovating. The next thing you want to measure or go take a picture of is the electrical panel. Okay, so you're going to locate the electrical panel and you're going to open it up and you're going to see if you have a jam-packed electric panel that just looks like it's all full with nowhere to add anything. More than likely, when you're renovating a kitchen, if that kitchen doesn't have separate circuits, depending on the age of the kitchen, every new kitchen needs each appliance is on its own circuit. So and now we have so many appliances in the kitchen, more than in the bathroom. But like in the bathroom, you could add a warming drawer in the bathroom. You could add let's say it's a bathroom master suite and you want to have, put your wine cooler in there because, wine cabinet, because once a week you sit in the tub and you relax and you have your wine and you watch TV. I don't know what's going on in your house. Everybody's different. But every appliance, major appliance, not a small countertop appliance, a blow dryer, a mixer, nothing like that, but every major appliance, your steam oven, your microwave oven, your cooktop, your hood, your refrigerator drawers, they all need their own dedicated electric line. So let's say you have a kitchen now that has the refrigerator, the stove, and the dishwasher. They've got 3 lines. Now you're going to add in a microwave, a wall oven, an under-counter refrigerator, and a speed oven, let's say. So I have to add 5 more circuits. Okay, so I need to look at my electric panel and see if the panel has knockouts. They're like you could see little spaces, like it just, you open it up and it doesn't, it's like every single thing is jam packed. Sometimes they can double up on those, like they can make them a little smaller, the circuit breakers, and make them 2 or whatever they need to do. But that electric panel comes into play in a kitchen. So don't ignore it. Maybe nothing has to happen to it, but maybe it does. And the point is, you're the professional, you're the designer, and you say, listen, I have my electric panel, I think it needs to be upgraded, because you're going to talk to the contractor. I'm not the electrician. I'm not the contractor. I just need to know what I need to be aware of and who to consult on that. So I would tell the contractor, look at the electric panel. I think it needs to be done. And you could tell the customer, look at your electric panel. We might need to either replace that electric panel or add an additional mini electric panel to it. What does that do? It adds thousands of dollars to the project. So if you've got somebody on a tight budget and they have to take $3,000 to do their electric outlets, they have to take $3,000 to do their electric outlets, or $3,000 or 3,000 yen, whatever it is. It's going to cost a lot of money. Maybe it's 3 million yen. I don't know the conversion. I don't know. But it's a lot of money. It's thousands of dollars. It's not 500. It's thousands to 5,000 or more. So you got to look at that electric panel. The next thing what you want to do is, when you're working with a bathroom, is you want to check out the water heater. Okay, what is the size of the water heater? Is it enough water heating for, let's say, a tub that you're going to be putting in? Is the water gallons, is it an 80-gallon um water tank, a 50-gallon water tank? You go so it coordinates with your tub, because you don't want to run out of hot water when you're filling up your tub, right? We don't want that to happen. So in addition to measuring your space, the windows, the center lines, you're taking a picture of the electric panel and the water heater. You're also going to find out, is it gas? Is it electric? How is the method of cooking coming into the house? So that if you need to have 220 lines, can you bring a 220 line into the house? Sometimes if the house or the apartment doesn't have a 220 line, you may not be able to get a 220 line, or else you're going to have to a 220 is a higher volt for your, like a wall oven or electric ranges, stuff like that. You need that higher 220 outlet as opposed to a regular standard 110 volt. So you need the 220 amps, volts, whatever that it is. You need the 220 line. So you got to check to see if you can even, it is even possible to bring it into the residence. Okay, because maybe if you're in an apartment building and there's no 220 line, there's no 220 line. So forget it. You don't have it. You're not getting it. Or if there's no gas line, you can't have it. You're not getting it, because it's an apartment building and it is what it is. And if you want to bring in electric, it's like $1,000 or $10,000 a floor for the electric company to bring you electric up to run a 220 line. So sometimes it's possible and sometimes it's not. So all of those things come into play, rather than what cabinetry they have now. What tub do they have now? Okay, all of that doesn't matter. This is for the future, so we need to measure the walls. We need to get, and I always go, where is north? Because north is the part of the house that gets no sun. The sun never goes to the north side of the house, the apartment, the anything. So anytime you see a home and you go, oh, that one side of the house is all full of mold and mildew. I don't know why that is. That's the north facing side of the house, because there's no sun to come in and get rid of that. So the sun kind of goes from rises in the east, goes around to the south, and it sets into the west. Okay, it doesn't go to the north, doesn't get there. So I always indicate north, because that's going to let me know how bright the room is going to be. And the sun affects cabinetry in a certain way, like it does fabric. Okay, the sun bleaches things out. It will mellow, it will change, it will alter. The UV rays alter the color of things. So you need to know, am I going to have the sun facing south all day long in this cherry kitchen? It's going to be blaring on this cherry kitchen. I'm going to probably bleach out an area of that cherry. And that you could tell the customer, you know what, we're going to have to cover the window. You're going to have to put a shade. You're going to have to watch out, or it's going to bleach it. You need to know these things as a designer of what's happening in the space. So we do all of our spatial analysis. Okay, so we analyze the space as a 360-degree option. Okay, I need to measure everything before you go back into your office and you start to put it into the computer. So you get all your measurements together, and the next step of your project is asking qualifying questions. Okay, so you're going to ask your questions. Where do you live? Is it an apartment? Is it in a house? Is it in a condo? Is it in a co-op? Is it in a incorporated village? Is it not in an incorporated village? Where is it, on an island that you need to get there by boat? Everything has to be boated in. You're getting all the parameters of the project ahead of time, and you're going to start asking questions of the client, like how do you live? What's going on here? Talk to me about what's going on here. Okay, so when it comes to a bathroom and when it comes to a kitchen, you're invading their privacy. You're invading their most used rooms in the house. Okay, they go to the bedroom and they sleep in the bedroom, but all they do is go to bed and get up, get dressed, and then they leave. You're spending all day and all night. The kids are in the house, come home for dinner, you're in there for breakfast, lunch, you're cooking, your bathroom, you're getting showered, you're taking a bath, you're cleaning, you're shaving. What's happening in these rooms? How does your client use these rooms? I don't put my makeup on in the bathroom. My sister has an area in her bathroom dedicated for her makeup. She likes having her makeup there. So I wouldn't want to do my makeup in my bathroom. I kind of like it in my dressing room. I don't know, but you got to see what's going on in the bathroom. Do you sit to blow dry your hair? Do you stand to blow dry your hair? Where do you put your blow dryer utensils? What kind of storage do I need? Do they have an electric toothbrush? Do they have an electric shaver? You're asking electric toothbrush, electric shaver, because maybe for those people, in order to have easy access, what would be good for them would be a medicine cabinet with built-in electric outlets so that you can plug in your electric toothbrush and have everything all clean inside of that medicine cabinet. No cords on the counter, nothing in the drawers. You open it up, here's my toothbrush, here's my shaver, maybe and a blow dryer. They have docking drawer with the electric in the drawers now, so that you can keep your blow dryer plugged in down below, and you open it up and it has automatic shut off. The power goes out, it cuts off the electric as soon as you close the drawer to it. So it's a safety measure that you can have that outlet inside a drawer. That's from the docking drawer. So you have all these different inserts and things that go into the cabinets that you can think about for the way that your client lives. And then the same thing with the kitchen. Oh, I have children. Children mean little. Little means things need to be at eye level and safe. So you're thinking about the people, you're thinking about the use of the space before you've even gotten into the aesthetic. Okay, you're doing all of this before you're talking about the color, the style, the look, this and that. Because when someone's doing their kitchen over, they're looking through the magazines, and they're going, okay, I like the way that looks. 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 Look, 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 look. But how does it function? What's going on inside of those cabinets? And then if they start to see the different things that go inside the cabinets, the clients will get like, oh, 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 candy, 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 candy. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I want to organize, organize, organize. Well, all those little organization things cost a lot of money. So you got to pick and choose and know the product that you're doing and what the customer is looking for. And like if they start saying, I want that coffee insert, well, you could say when the time comes and all the things add up and it's over budget, because it's always over budget. People always underestimate their budget. Always, always, always. They've never done a kitchen project before. They're not familiar with the design process. They have no idea what the products are out there. They've heard about it. They've seen it at their friend's house. Maybe they've seen it at the store, but they really basically have no clue, right? So you are the professional. And even if you're new and you don't really know, if you can ask these questions and you can ascertain the space properly, and you do a thorough intake with your client and understand their needs, their function of how they function as a family, as an individual, as a unit, with company over, without company over. You are different from me, and I am different from the other person, and so on and so on and so on. So nobody uses the space the same way. There are products that people like that are similar. I believe that every base cabinet should have a rollout tray in it. I don't know why you don't have it. If you don't, you should put it. A minimum, at least one on the bottom. And certain inserts that make life easier, better, more convenient. And the reason that we have evolved in the kitchen over the centuries is to make life easier for us, to make it simpler, to make it streamlined, to make our homes faster, cleaner, smoother, easier to be in. So it's not, we don't have to wash the clothes on a washboard anymore. We can now throw them in a washing machine. So it's always to improve our use of the space. And you, being the professional, you're always going to be able to override the client because the client doesn't really know. They might think that they know. You will get that educated consumer, but they're not always right. They don't understand the materials, or they don't understand the differences between quartz and granite. And it's up to you to talk to them about it and let them know the pros and the cons. But in the meantime, you get your measurements down, you take your pictures, and then you take pictures of the whole entire space. Take as many pictures as you can for everything, everything, everything. Snap away, snap away, snap away. Because the point is, you don't want to have to go back there and do any kind of follow-up measurements other than the one before it's going to be ordered. Maybe if you've got it at that point, we're just double checking or whatever. But you don't want to have to go back and back and back and back to the job site. You just want to do it one time. And that's going to be, you'll only do these measurements. You'll only do the intake form when you've gotten a retainer. And the retainer should be, in my opinion, $1,500 to $2,500. You can do a consult. I don't do free consults because I found they don't make me feel good. And if they don't make me feel good, I'm not making my client feel good. I'm leaving things out. I'm not telling them the secrets I know because I haven't gotten any money. It's the money is what makes the world go round. Show me the money, right? If you give me $500 to come to talk with you for 2 hours, I'll tell you what you need to know, but not without any money. So when you're doing this measurement, when you're doing your client intake, when you're spending 2 hours, 2.5 hours with them, doing all this information, you have a check in your hand. You have a contract written and signed with and you are beginning phase one of your project. Okay, this is phase one: assessing it, measuring the site, doing a client intake, taking pictures of what's there existing, and pictures of the plumbing, pictures of the electric, pictures of the water tank, whatever you need to picture of a ceiling, whatever you feel you need a picture of, you snap that picture away so that you don't go back. Okay. So remembering that that's the process of where you get started on a project. And after you've done this thorough intake and you've scribbled your notes, you've maybe talked into your notes, you've maybe did it on a digital pad. I don't care what you use. I don't care how you do it as long as it gets done. Because then you have to leave. Then you leave those people, you leave your client, and you've got your whole agenda of what you're going to be doing now. You've got all your information to go back into your office and sit at your desk and start to plan. And the first thing that you do is now take all of your hand drafted things and your hand drawings and put it into a digital program. If you can't do it digitally, do it by hand with a T-square and a triangle and a scale, and measure and do it by hand. It doesn't matter how you do it. It just needs to get done. So then you go back and then you figure out, well, here was my stove, here was my sink, and here was my refrigerator, whatever. And the same way that you design a living room with like a bubble, like sometimes it's a bubble, like I need a storage area, I need a seating area, I need a bed, washroom area, whatever. You do your bubbles and you go, okay, well, here's my coffee area, and you play around. You measure, you get paper and scribble and scribble and scribble and try it. You brainstorm with yourself. Now, somebody the other day got upset with me because they put a plan up and it's just an empty plan. I've been struggling with this layout for 5 hours. I can't figure anything out. What do you think? I'm not going to let you do that. I will not allow you to put an empty space in front of 6,000 designers that are in my group. I will not do that because you haven't done your homework. And if you did do your homework, you didn't show me you did your homework. You didn't show me that you struggled. I didn't see you struggle. I don't see any concepts. Which one do you like better? I'm not going to just allow that. And they said, oh, I didn't want to influence anybody. You could do whatever you want because you are going to have a different idea than the other person. You give 25, I say 10, I'm going to bring it to 25. You get 25 designers, the same floor plan to do, the same space, and you'll get 25 different designs. There's no such thing as a wrong design unless it doesn't work. But every design has a possibility. So if you have a situation where I've got 5 options, I'm not sure. Let me see it. Show it to me. Show it to them. Show it to everybody. Show us that you put the time in, that you struggled. Because you know what? Maybe you just need outside going, do you like this floor plan? I came up with 1, 2, and 3. Which ones do you guys like? 1, 2, or 3? You could do that. I'll say, all right, here, let's take a vote on which everybody thinks, 1, 2, or 3. But never take a full floor plan and go, can you give me some ideas? No, I can't. You want an idea? You pay me $250. I didn't get any retainer. I'm here for fun for you. I'm here as a bonus for you. So don't put anything in my group that you haven't struggled and shown me some of your concept drawings, some of your struggle sketches. Now, struggle sketches can look like anything, okay? Oh, I don't have. Some of my sketches are sketchy. They're all over the place. They might be scribbles, and I might scribble and scribble and scribble and scribble all on one plan. Another thing is to take a piece of tracing paper. Take a piece of tracing paper over your blueprint and sit there with a pencil and figure it out. Not scroll up that tracing paper, put it away, get another tracing paper. I don't care. You need to do the work. You need to try and figure this out, because the more that you try and figure it out, the more that you struggle with yourself coming up with a plan, the more you look at it and try and design it, the better you're going to get. The more ideas you're going to have, the more confident you're going to be about taking those ideas and scribbling them down. And you know what? I'm going to give you all the best advice. Don't beat yourself up over the first concept drawing. Okay? If this is your concept drawing for that space, that's your interpretation of your initial consult with your client. The client has never seen their kitchen before, other than the way it looks now that they're in all day, every day, 24/7. Okay. So they don't understand the new kitchen. So you're going to give them a drawing. The minute you give them pen to paper, you give them a line drawing, it could be anything. They're going to be able to, and they can't always tell it from a floor plan. They need to see a perspective, an elevation, something. And you have to talk the client through what's happening in the space. Well, here I put your knives that you collect. I put your saran wrap. I put your towels. I put the placemats. I put that blender that you want access to. I put the tray divider. You have platters you need for a party. I put them here. So you're explaining everything to the client of why you did what you did in the space. The client is then going to take a look at that and go, honey, let's look at this. And they're going to be like, okay, can we look at this? And they're going to have their own ideas, and they're going to want to make changes. I've done one floor plan and the customer was like, you know what? I don't want that. I want that. And I was like, well, do you really think that you're going to want that? But they go, no, I want that. You know what? It's my duty to go back to the drawing board and see if that works for the client. And it works for the client will like it. And so that the first design doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be color rendered. It doesn't have to be a beautiful presentation. It could be a sloppy black and white hand drawing with sketches that you did completely by hand, or that you just threw in something quick into SketchUp and you did a little whatever you did. Don't waste your time on the first design, and always have it in your contract that you're going to do 3. One design, one revision, maybe another revision. Otherwise, the client will keep making you go back and back and back, because you need to put a limit. Well, I came up with 2 projects, right? Maybe you came up with 2 layouts, right, for yourself. You limit it to them. Maybe you'll do 4, or maybe you'll do 2, but you give the client the limit so that they know they can't go, well, how about that? Well, how about that? And how about that? So that you're now spending your time, wasting your time, entertaining a client's bazaar, and they're telling you what to do. And now they're in charge and you're not in charge, and you're doing extra work and you're not getting paid. But if you have it in your contract that there's a limit on the drawings, okay, there's a limit on designs. There's 1 design, 2 designs, 2 with 1 modification, whatever it is. After that, you start charging. Another $250 design fee, another $250 design fee, another $250 design fee. That discourages the client to make a decision. I had a client that just couldn't make a decision, and he never ended up ordering his kitchen because he couldn't make a decision. 4 years later, they still couldn't make a decision. You have to push those people aside and move on, okay? So when you do your measuring, it's only when you've gotten your retainer. You want to get a retainer that's worthy of those people sticking with you and not walking away. Okay. They've got to make a commitment. And if you feel that you're a newer designer and you only want a $750 retainer, then get a $750 retainer, and you'll learn along the way what your retainer should be. And you'll learn along the way what your process is. And you will learn along the way how your method is for designing. And it's messy in the beginning. Okay. Designing a space, I've done it for a living room, dining room, and stuff like that, but it's much more complicated in the kitchen, because it's really built-ins. We're doing built-ins, and this is a capital improvement. It becomes, here in the United States, a kitchen or a bathroom is a capital improvement project, because they are permanently attached to the house. Okay, they can't stand alone on their own. They need the walls to keep them up. So it's a capital improvement project. So that's why it's a work in progress. And again, showing little drawings, showing little snippets, doing a hand drawing. I love it when the designers tell me, I can't draw. I can't draw. I'm like, but you just showed me a drawing. No, it's not Michelangelo. No, it's not Seurat, but I can understand what you're trying to say. And if I can understand it, the homeowner can understand it. Could just a little stick drawing. They're fine with it. They just need to see a little 3D, a little drawing. I mean, I've done a complete kitchen as a concept, and because I can draw, because I am good and I can do to scale, and I can see perspective. I've been drawing perspective since I'm a kid. I can easily sit there and sketch up a perspective pretty much to scale on what their kitchen is going to kind of look like. And it's done by hand. I didn't put one thing into the computer. Nothing. And I had fun doing it. If you can do that, then go ahead and do that. Don't think that the first concept has to be gorgeous. Okay. And you're not going to do all your detailing. You're not going to call out what's this, what's that, and do all your technical drawings until after all of this discovery, all of this process, which takes months to do. By the time you do it, by the time you get to see them, by the time you do it, by the time you get to see them, it could be 3 months before you've even ordered a kitchen or ready to order a kitchen, because it could be 4 months. It could be 5 months. It depends on what's going on. If the client is taking their time to pick out appliances, because you need to know the appliances that are going in there. If they haven't done their due diligence because they're busy, then you can't go any further with yours. So time goes by so fast. So if you tell somebody, oh, it's going to be 3 months of progress, we're into June. Okay. Saturday is June. It just was my birthday in January, just the other day. So in essence, it takes a year and a half to complete a kitchen project from the start. And actually, it takes a year and a half for people to figure out what the heck they're doing and where they're going. So if someone's looking for a kitchen and they go, we just started looking, they've got a lot of going ahead of them with looking. They're just going to be looking and looking and looking because that's what they need to do to educate themselves about a kitchen project. You just got to make sure that you take down their name and number and you follow up with them in 3 months. Hey, how you doing with that kitchen project? Remember you came into my showroom? I'm just following up with you. So anyway, how to measure, what to measure, the questions you ask your client, and taking pictures. Let me see if I have anything else to share. Um, uh, uh, Here. Okay, let's see. How does this look? I wonder, where am I? Okay, let me. So in the kitchen, we want to measure the overall wall lengths, the door and window openings, the width and the height with the trim and the molding and without the trim and the molding, and the height of the window above the finished floor to the windowsill. We want to measure the overall ceiling height in 3 places. Let's see how I do this. Okay. And now I lost what the heck I was doing. I'm going to stop sharing because I can't figure that out. Where'd my thing go? Where'd it go? Oh, now we lost it. I don't know. Close it out. Now I can't close it out. I don't know. It's not responding. Now it's not responding. I hope I'm still on the camera. But so you want to measure the. I'm still there. Sorry for that, guys. A little technical difficulty. And don't forget to take a picture of the electric panel and the water tank for the bathrooms, the water lines, the water tank, the vent lines, the pipe coming out the wall. And if you're doing a ventilation in a kitchen, you want to know, is the kitchen existing ventilation vented outside? If so, where is that exit from? And if you can, take a picture of the outside of the house, and don't forget to measure north to locate north, so that like every drafting plan, every architect's plan is going to have that little N for north. And this way it just gives you, that's also to help you with your lighting. So I hope you found this helpful today. What I'm going to be doing in the future, I'm working on setting it up now, is I'm going to be starting a design intensive, and I wanted to make it so that it's going to be like mini design intensive, so that it'll be like a 3-day design intensive with 3 courses and at a discounted price. So I'm going to give a really great deal for the Kitchen and Bath Design Academy, and I'm going to have it at unprecedented prices. I've never priced my products like this before. I've never done this before. I'm going to give it a try, because we all do. It's trial and error. I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to offer a fantastic discount, and I'm going to do 3. So there'll be 3 times 4. There'll be 4 right? 4 times 3 is 12. So I have 12 courses. So it'll be either 2 or 3 courses, 2 days, 3 days. It'll be focused and discounted at a great price. So keep an eye out for those advertising. If you want to learn about kitchen design and bathroom design, there's really no other place online to learn the basics. I teach the foundation of kitchen design and bathroom design for designers. I don't teach you color. I don't teach, the design for other rooms. I'm teaching you kitchen design and bathroom design. Very technical, and it's the extension of interior design, now specializing in kitchen and bathroom design. So that's what the Kitchen and Bath Design Academy is about. So keep an eye out for those advertisements coming, or those promotions, or whatever the heck you want to call it, email, I don't know. And then also don't forget, I work one-on-one. So if you're you have a project that you're working on and you're having questions, you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, I have a couple of questions. I don't want to make a mistake. This is a big opportunity. Call me. Get on my calendar. I'll work with you. We work one-on-one. It's a private. I help you be the best designer, and I teach you along the way. So if you need any help, reach out to me. And if you need anything in the Kitchen and Bath Design Academy, go in there and check out my free downloads. Okay, so great. Have a great day. And my website is alisonsolar.com, alisonsolar.com. And then you go to the KBDA information, Kitchen and Bath Design Academy. All righty then. So I will talk to you soon. Have a happy first beginning of June. I can't believe it's June. I can't believe it's June. Did I tell you I can't believe it's June? Anyway, I love you guys. Peace out. Ciao for now.